but stories. So it's the stories that remain. So we used to all play soccer because soccer was my game. So we used to play soccer in the evening on the field we have here. And about half the people playing would be the security guards, who would be about 40, 45 years of age. And my father always believed that because of incidents like this, he was conditioned to believe that guards must not come locally so that they can be more neutral. So half of our guards came from Rajasthan and the other half came from Nepal. And that continues, I think, more or less even till today. So, so we used to play, all the kids and the guards, everybody used to play together. It used to be quite vigorous, it used to be good fun, etc. So in 1987, my family decided to make a movie on my great-grandfather, Jamnalal Bajaj, who was said to be the fifth son or adopted son of Gandhi. The name of the movie was Kathni Karni Ek Si. And quite embarrassingly, I think if you go to YouTube, it is still there. And it's not funny to see me in that movie. So in that, it's not really a movie, it's a documentary, about 45 minutes long. And they needed a narrator, or Sutradhar as it was called, through it. So they made a bakra out of me, convinced me to be that. As I realized later, it was not necessary for somebody from the family to play that role. But the director, there was a Bhimsenji, he was keen on this. And my uncle and aunt basically bulldozed me into it. The movie was called Kathni Karni Ek Si, which means as is your talk, so should be your walk. That was what Jamnalalji's principle was. And this was to be shot in Sikar, outside of, I think a 2-hour drive outside of Jaipur, which is where he was born. So we had to go there, which is a story by itself, because it was a pain in the butt to drive from Jaipur. We got lost in the desert, we ran out of fuel. I mean, that's another story. But the more important story is that when we got there, I was shocked to see where, quote unquote, we came from, because it was just a mud house. It was a very small mud house, at least up until 1987. And when I walked into it, I couldn't even walk erect. I had to bend down because the arches were low, etc. And it had been still maintained by the village in honor of his memory. And I actually remember going to the room where he was born. He was born there, and there was still a candle lit over there, and his photograph was there. So I was very touched to see that. So I think we did some shooting over there. And then we had to go to a village well, and we had to shoot over there. So because the village well was a community place where people would gather, etc. So we said we will shoot there. So I remember that evening at about 5, going there, and I saw a familiar face. So there's a guy called Subhash, who was a security guard. So I said to him, what are you doing here? तुम इधर क्या कर रहे हो, Subhash? So he said, Baba, maybe इसी गांव का हूँ. He said, I'm also from the same village. So I said, oh, okay. So I said, how come? So he said, no, I mean, I joined the company a long time back, and I have come here for the summer vacations. So once a year they used to go back. And I asked him, so where is your home? So he said, आज आप shooting कर रहे थे ना जमनालाल जी के घर पे? I said, yes. He said, you were shooting at Jamnalal ji's house. I am your neighbor. And this was a life-changing moment for me, because I knew the story that Jamnalal ji was actually born into a very, very poor family. He was one of many kids, and his parents were very poor. And he happened to be at the age of 4 playing outside in the courtyard in the middle of the day with the blazing sun. And that was what my cousin was going to act out. That's why I knew this. And he had turned pink in the sun. And there was a Sethji who was about 60 years old. His name was Bacharaj Bajaj, who in his fancy carriage was going past, horse carriage. And Sethji had no kids. And he saw this child and he felt there is something special about this child. So he walked up, knocked on the door, and Jamnalal ji's mother opened the door. Is how the story goes. And as is custom, she offered water. To which then I asked her that, whose child is this? And in a manner of speaking figuratively, she said, Tharoi hai in Marwadi. I believe that means it's like your child. It's the way you say it with affection. He said, okay, then I'm taking the child. So she was aghast. So she called her husband. And so he asked what has happened, and she said, look, this is what has happened, he's taking the child away. To which apparently the husband said that the word once given has to be honored. That is the genesis of Kathni Karni Eksi. That once you have said something, you must honor that word. So he said, okay, you can take the child. So the mother was just completely shocked. Then the father was able to collect his wits. He asked the father that, in return, what can I give you? So the father said, we are not selling the child. It's just that, we already made a promise, so we are just keeping our word. But nevertheless, the women in the village have to walk a long distance every day to get water. So it would help a lot if you would commission and fund a well for this village. To which he agreed. That is how that well came about. And that is why we went to shoot there at that well. And then at that well I met Subhash only to learn, to put it simply, that if his grandfather had been playing outside that day, as I say to everyone, I would have been a security guard in Bajaj Auto, and Subhash may well have been the chairman of Bajaj Auto. So this told me that circumstances are much, much bigger than us. Anyone who thinks that you call it ego or whatever, but if you feel that you know it, you are not only can do it, you have done it. This whole concept that I have done it, this is mine, why it is wrong is because circumstances are so much bigger than you that where you are is purely luck by chance. Of course, within that, how you conduct yourself, etc., that's a important but minor detail. But if we have to consider as a family, or if I have to consider as a person, why I am here, I can keep talking about lineage, heritage, grandfather, great-grandfather, father, Harvard Business School, engineering degree, meritocracy and all that. It's all rubbish. I am here because my great-grandfather was playing marbles in the courtyard one afternoon. And somebody happened to be passing by. He was very wealthy. That is how the family came into wealth. So that was a very impactful story for me.